mess off. Silence, you animals. Okay, come back. We need to do a wardrobe change. All right, those are the monkeys. Who are you? You're my son, right?
Yeah.
This is my son. He likes to play jokes. And this is. Can you get out of the camera, dude? This is what the arena is all about, and the beast's all about. Best we can capture it. Guys, what is your favorite thing to do?
Stay with me. Don't
Kicking your ass and wrestling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's nothing they love more than tag teaming me and trying to beat me. Yep. One day you'll be able to beat me, but not yet. One day. Okay. Jack? What did your teacher tell you in school?
To stop wrestling.
To stop playing tag?
No,
Yeah, and he threw a rock at a window.
What are you talking about?
He did.
the car's window.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that later.
It was next year.
Okay.
It was last year.
All right, I have another question. Okay. What the other day we were making images on my phone.
Huh?
And what was the image you asked me to make?
A demon with 100,000 skulls and 2 swords behind him.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't see that.
And what kind of action figures did you like as a kid?
Uh,
No, actually the better one. How many times have you asked me, are you stronger than him? How many times?
1,600 times.
1,600. It's probably a good estimate. All right, monkeys. You're dismissed. You can go. You've proven your point. What are you? What What animal you said?
I'm
Are you?
badger.
Yeah, exactly. He's the monkey, monkey badger, as I like to call him. Okay, Milo. All right, enough.
Come here, let's fuck this.
Go. See, I don't use the thunder as much with my nephew as harshly. All right! Knock it off. Guys! Get out. I'm not joking now. Get out. Go. I need to focus. Stop. See? And that is what I like to refer to as the thunder that my father taught me. To be able to create the boundary for the child without violence. Oh, did that sound too loud? Did that hurt your feelings? Guess what? Without that volume and without that tone, the monkeyness continues. The noise, the nonsense. Him and his mom just bicker back and forth, even if she tries to raise her voice. And yelling, and they get into it. And it reminded me, when I hear my son and my wife talk, it's like hearing children bicker back and forth because of his fire. And I understand, all kids are not like these two monsters. Every kid's got his own fire. This is not about romanticizing. The arena is not about romanticizing. I can still hear them, and I need to not hear them so I can focus. Guys! Go away! Go in your room. I can still hear you loud and clear. There you go. You got another second opportunity to hear the thunder. Because Jesus, I'm a very focused person. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. I get very sidetracked. The beast is what you just saw. It's our animal. It is the heartbeat of life that we have destroyed. Our society, his teacher telling him not to play. They were playing tag, and they were tagging each other too hard. Don't worry about that, kid. But for years, this began thousands of years ago, there's no one to blame, because blame is pointless if you're an adult. This is built in blood. My entire life has been shaped through fatherhood. I lost my dad when I was 12. I had 3 brothers growing up, 2 older, 1 younger. And I know what happens because my dad was one of the few just kings. We've destroyed just kings in the last few decades completely out of our fear of the patriarchy, which I understand. I get it. Because there was a lot of stuff that men were doing completely wrong that needed to be adjusted. But as we do as humans, we overcompensate and overcorrect, and this is what we've done again. We think that compassion is the way, Compassion is not that's going to shape that child right there. I mean, compassion absolutely is a huge part of it, but it's half. It's courage and compassion, discipline and love. That is parenting, walking that tightrope. All the things I thought I knew, was so sure of, have changed continuously through fatherhood since his birth. So that was the thing. After my father died, 10 years of chaos, wandering in the shadows, looking for respect, for belonging. And I found alcohol, became an addict. And I found a distorted version of respect from my peers because I was able to cross the lines. Growing up in a middle-class neighborhood, I was able to cross lines that most kids didn't dare because they had a two-parent home or some structure of a home. This is back in, I'm 41, this is back in the 90s. And I became, for over a decade, just a true hedonistic maniac, trying to feel alive. Because I have a crazy fire, and especially after my dad's thunder, like the thunder you heard now, that's from my dad. I can't remember either of my brothers. My oldest brother's a doctor, and my brother's a teacher. That shows you my dad too. They had just enough of his life. Because he dedicated his life to us in every way. And it's a hard thing to do. And all of the lessons, there's no greater trial than parenthood, guardianship, the responsibility for another life, because it is relentless since they are born. Every parent knows with their first child, man, it's just anxiety and just exhaustion and just everything along the way. I've been there every step of the way through his life. And to watch his development since age 2, asking me if, are you stronger than him? Not, again, everyone's not like my nephew and him, but most boys have something very similar in them that starts to get suppressed in all kinds of ways, medicated, suppressed, told it, shamed, thrown in the corner. Our beast is not just our wildness. It is our body that holds the wisdom to ground us. It is shame. It is grief. It is loneliness. It is joy. It is the heartbeat of life. Our bodies. Any idea of like uploading consciousness one day is absurd. Our body is as much a part of our consciousness. It is two sides of the same coin. They can't exist without each other. We don't know what happens after death. We can't even call that consciousness or soul living on. It's something completely different. But what we are now is very simple. A mind and a body. And the beast is a body. And we have now more than ever, because of technology, and technology is not an enemy at all. It's just a tool like everything else and how we use it. But look at how we use it now. We've become more isolated than ever. And if you want to know why mass shootings and mental illness and all that is on the rise, it's because of it's being magnified more and more because of our disconnection. Because more and more, the longer America goes along, the more isolated and fragmented everything becomes. And that's in some part science too. But the arena is the answer. And this is how I want to finish everything. You can see pictures of it in the little pictures. It's just a brief design. Circular campus. This was also learned. I spent 4 years after I got sober, and finally, I shouldn't have lived through those 10 years. I don't know how I did. Many of my friends used to tell me, you won't live past 40. I'm 41. Got you guys. But then after I got sober and I buried myself in books and was lucky enough to stumble upon 2 wise old sages that pointed in a direction that I just took. And it wasn't before long where doors started opening, and I volunteered at a community center as a literacy tutor. And then from that because I was learning through the program of AA and getting sober, how much vulnerability and just like kind of facing your fears. And so I got to really know the staff, and they offered me a job as a facilitator and mentor for a juvenile reentry program, 14 to 20 year olds just getting out of juvie, toughest kids, and me, skinny white dude from the suburbs. Chicago was my crucible. I moved to get sober there. That's how that happened. But the education I got working at that community center and then with the kids, man, that's education. And that's what the arena is about. Because what I've learned there, and where the first seed was planted for this idea, was when two boys who had that hunger in their eyes that wanted to grow into men. Like they came in with smiles on their faces every day. And when they didn't come back, I knew why. Again, our programs ended. The streets don't. And in that heartbreak, their sacrifice, those boys, they would have been amazing men. They would have been great guardians for the future of the world. And that's what this is about building. It is not some dogma cult retreat, stupid surface level bullshit like so much of life is. This is about a sacred place. Where are the sacred places anymore? Nowhere. And this is as practical as it gets. A campus, a temporary campus. It is not, some boys it'll take a couple weeks. Maybe we'll have an all-star that'll only take a week, and you're like, damn, you must have had a great father or a great something, because you are ready. It is a temporary thing. Each boy has his own lessons and his own trauma and fears, and that's what it's about. Is somatic experiencing is SE, the most amazing therapy that has been brought to life about what the F is wrong with us. Because it's in our nervous system and in our body. It's not our thoughts. And this is what the arena is about, is bringing the things in us that scare us and fear us. And this is why the trials existed and cross in every single tribe. To become a man, you must face the Minotaur in the center of you. Why are so many myths about the beast? It's unbelievable. It was the best our ancestors could do, was offer these metaphors and stories, because you can only talk about the sacred and what truly matters through metaphor. This is why I call it the beast. You can call it body. Beast is more accurate because look around and see what it does when we do shame it, isolate it, and put it into a corner. Our need for connection is so ingrained. We are social mammals. It is so ingrained in us that we will, this is what mass shootings are. See me, hear me. Smart people that are really, most of the time, have a well above average intelligence, and they just get sick of being neglected and thrown into the corner. And the feeling of abandonment, betrayal. This is why it's the seventh layer of hell. The man who does these things feels betrayed and is isolated. And now it's not just that. It is the despair and loneliness that is everywhere because we are not experiencing life anymore. In order to gain wisdom, you must experience it. This is the trial. And the trials, we're not going to relive. Again, this is no romanticizing barbaric behavior. What's more barbaric? Sending a kid off, and this is not what we're doing, but what our elders did, that we deemed barbaric, so we killed them and just said, this land is ours now, is sending a kid off, a 13-year-old, into the desert for a few days for a vision quest, or some kid locked in his room in the dark with his blue screen, scrolling with a drug dealer in his hand, handing him tiny little bits of dopamine, and just suffering in isolation. What's more barbaric? That is, to me, by far, because that's a slow burning death. We can reenact and model. All parents know your kids don't learn from your words. Very few. But you have to gain that bondage and respect, like I do with my child, for him to listen, for him to want to embody the virtues that will make his life much more fulfilling and full of love. So the arena starts with a circle in the morning. Again, the campus is a field house for sports and play, a theater, a music and art studio, workshops, all different kinds of ways for all different kinds of personalities of boys to find their affinity. What is an affinity? The thing you just can't not do. You're compelled. You are drawn to it. Not every boy wants to wrestle like mine. Some want to paint, sing, dance. Some want to sit in a classroom and talk intellectually about all the wonders of the world in a classroom. Everything will be provided. 2 trials a day, 1 physical, 1 more creative and expressive. And then how this is built again is card by card. Me on the streets in my costume, card by card. My online presence is going to be minimal for now. But the arena again it's a crucible. It's a place to visit and go. It is not it's not wayward, some academy for kids. And when I say, the reason I mentioned SE is there will be somatic experiencing practitioners on site. So when the rough emotions come, the man will not be walking through it alone. Our fear of the tyrant has sent all the just kings into hiding, and I'm calling you out. I know you're out there. I know good men are out there, and we need to come together and help our children grow into men, to guardians, so we can keep tyrants from continually rising. Because if we don't have the just kings and the guardians to stand up to the tyrants, this is what we get. Compassion is not the answer. It is sweat, vulnerability, blood, bruises. Now the trial, let me walk you through a day and we'll end on this. The first day of the arena, give you a kind of a feel. First, we'll start with a peace circle. Every day starts with a fire and ends with a fire. Sitting in a circle. We did peace circles when I was a nonprofit, and it is the most beautiful way to elicit and influence vulnerability and honesty than I've ever seen. It's a simple ancient tradition. We sit in a circle. We have a sacred piece. The facilitator will ask a question, say something that is to stir up thoughts and feelings. And then we pass around the sacred piece, and only who has a sacred piece may speak. And I watch kids sit there for weeks, not say a word, and that's the beauty of it too. Silence is sacred. You don't have to. It's voluntary. You do not have to speak if you do not want to. And I will be the next step after the cards, and meeting enough people is scheduling these in parks while it's still warm enough, and then in other spaces to show the power of the peace circle. Because I watched a kid stay quiet for 2 weeks, and then just the dam burst open, and he was not met. That was beautiful in itself, and then beautiful to see how his peers reacted, because they had formed that bond by then. The snapping fingers, hearts, nods. You know how good that felt for that boy. That is what he needs. To let the beast weep, to let the beast roar. That's what the arena gives. A container for it. Because that's what all the animal needs, is to be learned and acknowledged and honored as an equal, not as an emissary. Because when we can do that, then we become whole and much more fearless. The anxiety and fear just sheds off us. And you can walk head held high. So again, the circle in the morning, then breakfast, then first trial will be physical. Let's say tag. That's the trial. That's the kind of trials I'm talking about. Nothing brutal. A game of tag. But the most original game ever made. You get to feel predator and prey, the hunting and being hunted. That's the day. We'll play for an hour. Kids will be exhausted. Then lunch, and then free time. That's another beautiful part about campus. It's not all about structure, overly structuring. No. Kids need their time to wander and to find and be alone, hang out with their friends and the people they connect with. Hours of autonomy through the campus to go explore the facilities, the buildings, to do what they want to do. Then there'll be 2 trials a day. The second one will be more of a creative, expressive one. For example, we'll do a theater where we could ask a question and everyone has to get on stage and say into the microphone, do your own thing. What do you fear most? What do you fear that you can't say out loud? Trial 2. These trials are not anything near what our ancestors did. A physical one, like a sumo wrestling. There's a circle. All the boys get in a line. 2 boys step into the circle. The one that wins stays. Then the next boy in line gets in. The one that wins stays. And you can get pushed out 3 times. And you keep going. It's minimal physicalism. It's about learning respect through, in the dojo, again, respectful competition is everything. I play games online with my son, and how these teenagers, it's just an echo chamber. All they're doing is saying the same things over and over again. Just throwing these insults back at each other over and over again. Just I rarely see any sort of evidence of respect in there. And I never see it online. Respect is a relic, as I said. Read the essay. I'm going to stop now. After I hit the streets a month ago, I realized I have to write the manifesto. I hate writing. I'm sacrificing. I don't want to sit still. And just pouring out my scars and blood onto these pages. It's going to be about 80 pages. It's about 60 right now, with images that just fully, undeniably shows what the arena is and why we need it and why we desperately, desperately need it. So please email me. They'll be on the cards that I'm handing out. This is how it starts, with cards in the streets, meeting you, stone by stone, circle by circle. I need people just as much as donations. But this donation has a potential to truly change the fabric of our society by helping boys and men become true guardians and help. And that's the thing too. The reason this is for boys and men, that's what I know. I hope gay men are also welcome, but celibacy in the arena is mandatory. It's a distraction. I hope women build their own arenas, and I hope one day we can have them next to each other, and I hope we build hundreds of these, but it starts with one, and it starts with men. So please, let's do this. Let's do this. I can't sit by because I know too much, and I'm not stupid enough to think I've arrived at any place in fatherhood or anything. I'm not a just king. I am just on a path to never-ending striving towards trying to be. And I know other men want to be as well. And we need to come together and build this place for our kids, for their kids, for their kids, for their kids. Hundreds of them. We can do this. We can do this. So let's do it.